Sturm, and I am interested in story and immersion. What is it about story, its structure, how we experience it, that gets us deeply involved in it? And it doesn't matter what format. It can be books, it can be videos, it can be storytelling, anything that gets us immersed and absorbed in the information transaction. So let me tell you a story. Once upon a time, a long, long time ago, there lived a little old man and a little old woman. And they had a really good life together, except for one thing, and that was that the little old man didn't have as much culture as his wife wanted him to have. So one day, the little old woman heard that there was a storyteller who was coming to town, and she thought, this is the perfect moment to send my husband to listen to the story, and maybe he'll get culture. Well, the little old man worked all day in the fields, and when he came back and he heard about the storyteller, he said to his wife, I don't want to go, I'm too tired. And she said, you're going. So he went. And he went and he sat down and he began to listen to the storyteller. But he was so tired that he fell asleep, and he slept all night long. Well, in the morning, as was the custom in India, children ran around and they handed out sweets to all the listeners. And the old man's mouth was hanging open in his sleep, and a little child came by and popped the sweet into his mouth. And he woke up and he went back home. And his wife said, oh, well, how was it? How was the storytelling? And he said, well, it was rather sweet. And she said, oh, yes, you're listening, you're getting culture. That's great, you must go back again tonight. So all day long he worked, and that night he came home and he said, I'm too tired, I don't want to go. And his wife said, you must, and you should, and you will. And so off he went, and he sat down and he listened, and he fell fast asleep. And this time a young boy came by, and he wanted to hear, and he climbed up on the old man's shoulders and he sat there listening all night long. And in the morning he climbed back down and he went home, and the old man woke up and his back hurt and his shoulders hurt. And he went home to his wife, and she said to him, how was the Ramayana? How was the storytelling? And he said, oh, it was heavy. And she said, you are getting cultured. That's the kind of story that the Ramayana is. She said, you must go back again the third night. And so he did. Didn't want to, and again he fell fast asleep. And that night he fell over. He was so tired. He lay down on the ground and he slept. And in the morning, a dog came by and mistook him for a log, lifted its leg, and peed into his mouth. And he woke up, and he had this awful flavor in his mouth. And he went back to his wife, and she said, well, how is the Ramayana? How is the storytelling? And he said it was awful. It was disgusting. It was salty. Salty. The Ramayana isn't salty. And so she talked, and she wheedled, and she whined, until finally he admitted to falling asleep every night. And so she said, tonight, I'm coming with you, because you will get culture. And so that night she went with him, and she sat right in the very front row, and he began to listen. And the storyteller was weaving this wonderful story about Rama and Sita, and how the Sita had been stolen by the demon king and taken off to a different land. And so Rama gave to Hanuman, the monkey god, a special ring. He said, take this to Sita. And so Hanuman went and he jumped across the great ocean, but when he did, he dropped the ring into the ocean, and he landed in the demon king's kingdom without the ring. And just at that moment, the old man stood up from where he was sitting, and he said, don't worry, Hanuman, I'll get the ring for you. And he dived into the ocean, and he swam down, and he came back with the ring and gave it to the monkey god. And then he sat back down, dripping wet. And from that day forward, he was considered one of the wisest